Welcome back to the Knick-Knack Review. I'm your host, Clint the Knick-Knack, and today we're looking at the trailer for Clifford, the Big Red Dog. Let's jump in. So Clifford is a story about a dog that is big and red. That's pretty much the gist of it, yeah. Well, if you're not familiar with Clifford the Big Red Dog, they had books and cartoons back in the day. I did watch the cartoon when I was younger. I read a few of the books, but never owned any of them. Went to the library or something and read them. But I never was really into Clifford that much to say that I know characters or any of the stories, or maybe the movie is pulling from a particular story and maybe put some little bits of other stories in the movie. But I'm not that familiar. So one thing I am curious about in the movie, or at least by the trailer, according to the trailer, he's a normal sized dog, and little girl, she basically makes a wish and she cries a magic tear, and bloop, it falls right onto Clifford, and then next morning, chia, and then he's big.
Okay, tiny dude is big now. He's big now.
So I don't know if that's anything faithful to any book or to the original story. So if any of you know the real story of Clifford, or maybe not necessarily the real story, but say the first story, why is he big? Basically is what I want to know. Why is he big? What caused it to happen?
Your ancestors called it magic, and you call it science. Well, I come from a place where they're one and the same thing.
Was he like the opposite of the runt of the litter, to where instead of the runt being small, he's like the runt that's huge? Did he just grow overnight? What's the story? I never looked into it. Again, I watched the cartoons and I might have read a book or two, but other than that, I don't have any actual knowledge of Clifford. So that'd be a little helpful. Now, judging from the way this trailer is, it gives me some, and this is a good thing, but it gives me some Alvin and the Chipmunk vibes. I feel like the humor from this movie is going to be very similar to Alvin and the Chipmunks. Pretty much all the movies. They pretty much all were kind of the same, regardless of which ones you like better, but they kind of pretty much all ran the same, and I feel like this one, with Clifford the Big Red Dog, it's going to be very similar, but instead of the animal talking, of course, he'll just be a really big puppy, which I think it's going to challenge the animators, and I'm sure it did, but you're going to really see how well they can animate a puppy being that size, because obviously your mind is going to be like, this is impossible, it's not going to be believable. But judging from the trailer, if Clifford had, say, a golden retriever style coat, he would look even more real. But because we know that dogs are not that color, they don't have the red fur, it's your mind is saying, oh, it's a real dog, but at the same time it's red, so it's like, no, not really. Judging from the trailer, though, it actually looks really good. It looks like the animators put a lot of time and money into this, which, as they should. I mean, if you're going to make a Clifford the Big Red Dog, why not make it really good and make it believable?
Spared no expense.
There were two cast members that really stuck out to me. It was Tony Hale and Kenan Thompson, and I'm a fan of both of those. And one thing that Tony Hale was in was an Alvin and the Chipmunks. I believe it was the last one that came out when they did the Road Chip, I believe. Yeah. And I really enjoyed that movie, and he was actually really funny in it. And of course, I love Kenan Thompson. I mean, I've pretty much followed his career all the way from All That and Kenan and Kel and pretty much everything after that, and then his run on SNL. And he's just always, he's hilarious. I mean, I got nothing negative to say about him. He's great. So I'm really anxious to see if either one of them play a really big part in the movie, or they're just going to be some temporary comic relief, which, I mean, even if they're temporary, they're still going to be a nice addition to the movie. So all in all, this trailer didn't give too much away. It kind of gave us the gist of the plot, which is, Clifford's a big red dog, and how do you live with that? How do you cope with it? How do you go about your life with it? Why is he big and all this stuff? So I feel that this trailer, gave us enough without giving too much away. And this movie, to me, kind of seems like a really good time. It feels like one of those family movies that it's like, hey, let's take the kids, let's take the whole family, and just let's go out and have a good time watching this. I'm not going to say simple in a negative way, but just a simple, enjoyable movie, not necessarily looking to raid the box office and be the biggest opening ever. And it's not looking to be the greatest of all time. It's looking to tell a really good story and to entertain. And to me, that's what movies should do in the first place. But that's what I'm getting from this trailer, and I really hope I'm right because I like Clifford from way back, and it looks like it would be a good time. Well, that about does it for me. This was basically a short review of the trailer, and actually looking forward to this movie, seeing what it's all about. Don't forget, if you like what you've seen here, make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought of the trailer. Oh, and while you're there, don't forget to, well, you know what to do. As always, I'm Clint the Knick-Knack, and I will see you on the next one.